Hey everybody, happy holidays to you. Hope you're having a wonderful season, a wonderful Christmas season here with Emma, as you can see. Um, right now it's Christmas Eve here in Southern California, and by the time you watch this, it'll probably be Christmas Day or later. So, Merry Christmas to everybody, and if I'm too late, then I certainly hope you had a wonderful holiday. Of course, this Christmas is particularly difficult because we're spending it with the guy who, or without the guy who always made Christmas what it is. He always made it a very special holiday for everybody, and that, of course, is Grandpop, or some of you know him as Dad, or John, or Johnny Mac, or whatever the case may be. And one person in particular knows him as John, John. So, hi, Grandma. So we just have a little breather here. I'm supposed to be driving back to Valerie's mom's house to bring some stuff, but before I do, I thought we'd sneak in a little video here. I'm just trying to sneak off camera, but you're not sneaking off. No, you're not. And yes, it's very difficult to have Christmas without Grandpa because he always just made it so festive for everybody, whether he was passing out presents under the tree or putting brandy on the roast, almost catching the house on fire. And, poor guy, I always felt sorry for him because, especially as I got older, I noticed that, in the kitchen, he wanted to be there helping out, but he didn't really know what he was supposed to do, and I don't think any of the girls really wanted him in there. So he could have come into the living room and watched football with us, but he doesn't want to do that because it's so hard for him to sit down and enjoy himself. So he was kind of in limbo there on Christmas, and I kind of felt bad for the guy. So it must have been just a huge relief for him when we finally sat down to eat. But from the time he was helping us open presents to the time we sat down and ate, that little space in between, that had to be so hard for Grandpa to accept and adjust. Right, Ems? That had to suck. Yes, it did. And also, toward the last few days, Grandpa's life, I tried very hard to go out there and visit him one last time. I actually bought a ticket and everything. And I didn't want to take off work because I just started a new district. I'm new. I'm very bottom of the totem pole, even though I've been teaching for about 15 years. And Grandpa, he wouldn't want me to take off work anyway because he's such a workaholic. And so, but fortunately, it did coincide with Labor Day weekend, or at least it seemed like it was going to. So I booked my plane ticket. I was going to go there one last time, but unfortunately, he did not make it. And I'm very glad that my mom talked me into FaceTiming with him because I wasn't going to. I was going to say, I don't want to FaceTime. I'll just see him when I see him on, next weekend. But that didn't happen. So I'm very glad that my mom talked me into FaceTime with Grandpa because unfortunately that was the last time I ever spoke to him. And Ian, if you're watching, I really appreciate that story you told me at his service about how you went and saw him one last time when you knew that he was going to be gone any day. You got off work, took off for Jacksonville. You got to his place, and you got that big old signature Grandpa greeting. You got that, "Hey, guy," and it was just as loud and just as jolly and vociferous as it ever was. And I'm very glad that you got that one last "Hey, guy" because it made me feel like I was there. It made me feel like I got that one last "Hey, guy." And also, I was thinking about, his 80th birthday party when Brenda said, "We want 20 more." And he said, "I'm going to give it to you." And I really thought he would. Because, when people look back at their fondest memories with their grandparents, I think most people would probably look back on their childhood somewhere. But honestly, my best memory of Grandpa were actually a lot more recent. I mean, to my younger cousins out there, I'm very sorry, and I actually regret that you're not going to get to have that adult relationship with Grandpa that the older grandchildren have had, having Grandpa in our lives in our 30s and 40s. It's pretty awesome. Because I remember just 4 years ago, Grandpa took me to the Jacksonville Zoo. I know, I'm still a kid in that regard, but he took me to the zoo. He walked the whole zoo, no problem. And it was an 85-year-old grandfather taking his 37-year-old grandson to the zoo. And afterwards, we went out and had a beer together. That is awesome. Not many people have a relationship like that with their grandfathers, and I'm very grateful that I was able to have one. And again, to Connor, Chloe, Olivia, and Sabrina, I'm very sorry that you're not going to get to know what that's like, but at least you had them for a good run at least. And so I better go to that party that is requiring my attention. I just wanted to give a shout out to everyone out there. And again, if you're watching this after Christmas, I'm sorry I'm too late, or you're too late. It's your fault, not mine. Let's go that way. And actually, one last thing. Also, at his service, it's pretty amazing their turnout that he had. He had at least 8 people flying in for his service. Because there was Valerie and myself coming in from California. There was Sue, Woody, and John from Colorado. Olivia came in from D.C., and the super travelers that made us all look like slackers, Brian and Jonathan, came in from Germany and Uganda. So that is 8 people from 3 different continents and 5 different time zones. That's pretty amazing. I know I'm not going to get a turnout like that when it's my time to go, but I haven't done nearly as much as he has done to deserve it. So I hope you guys are able to have a good holiday despite this huge void in our lives that we now have. I've always took comfort in knowing that, even when I wasn't there for Christmas, I still felt like I was there, because I could take comfort in knowing that Grandpa's still doing what he always does for Christmas, and that made me happy, even if I couldn't be there. So I hope you all have or had a good holiday in spite of all that. And as you can see, we have somewhere to go. Say bye, Ems. Bye-bye.